Okay, we're good? All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thornapple Kellogg Board of Education regular meeting. Today is Monday, March 11th, 2024. And let's see, that was called to order. Let's have roll call of the board, please. Brenda?
Brock?
Here.
Dickman?
Here.
Hess here. Powers?
Here.
Huson?
Here.
Smith? And Winger?
Here. All right, thank you. And with that, let's recite the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag's in the back. And, all right. 3, 2, 1. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Okay, and with that, looking for an adoption or a motion to adopt the agenda or any additions to the agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we got Brock with the motion and Winger with support. Is there any discussion? Seeing there's no discussion, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, board. Motion carries. All right, that takes us to public communication and recognition. Mr. McCarthy?
Yes, we're going to change things up slightly, try and do a little bit more orderly this time, but we're going to have the students and coaches called up by sport. The team and the student names will be displayed on the screen. The coach, then we're going to have talk about the season and the team members, and then we're going to call students by name alphabetically and have them walk through to get their certificates. There's a lot of people on the agenda tonight, so we wanted to make sure that we weren't shuffling all the certificates. So if we can have the board stand in front. And Mr. Hammer, can we have you start out by calling up coaches?
Absolutely. So we got two teams here tonight. They participated in the MHSA finals. We'll start in alphabetical order. Oh, no, right there. Going in reverse alphabetical order. Fantastic. So the very first group that I'll call up, wrestling. We had 4 individual state qualifiers, and I've got Coach Flecky and Coach Stolzenberg to come up and tell you about the season.
Hi, I'm Coach Flecky. This is Coach Stolzenberg. Sorry. We're going to kind of divide, and Coach is going to keep me on track, I think, here. So, first off, Jace Curtis is a junior. This is his first year qualifying, district champ. He's also a conference champ. Third at regionals, 1 match away from placing at state. So we were super happy with that, and hopefully next year, coming back, we can get on that podium. So he's a great role model in the wrestling room and at school as well. Jace, would you like to stand just?
Jason, you want to come up around? You can be the example for everyone else to follow. All right. And we'll all just congratulate you as you walk over to get your certificate.
Stacy, will I pass for you?
I'll start this one, and then I'll pass it on. First one is Riley Alberts. Comes to us as a freshman, so first year wrestling, high school wrestling. She did an amazing job this year. Second at regionals to Emma Gibson, who's also at the bottom there that we're going to talk about soon. They met in the finals, so that was pretty cool. Girls wrestling is growing humongously. We had down at Gull Lake, and the gym was completely packed all the way to the top. They had 32 girl brackets, which is pretty impressive. Top 4 go to the state tournament. Riley started wrestling last year, so second year wrestling. She was a gymnast, and you can tell when she's out on that mat, she does some pretty amazing things that I'm not even sure how it's possible, but it's pretty impressive to watch. So we're very happy to have her on the team this year, and let's give her a round of applause.
Hey, Coach, the other girls could actually come up and stand right over here as well,
Okay.
too.
Do you want to come up? So I've had the pleasure of coaching the girls the past couple of years. I had Rainey Braska, who's a junior this year, who qualified for state, took 4th place in the region. She wrestled as a middle schooler and then wrestled some club stuff for a while, and then came back to us this year as a junior, which we're real happy about. Qualified for state, had a really tough weight class at state, but worked her butt off all year and really did well for us, and hopefully come back next year and we'll get on the podium next year. So. And then Emma Gibson, who's wrestled for me for forever, ever since she was in middle school. Regional champ this year, 2-time state qualifier, won a match state last year and this year again, and hopefully come back and get on the state podium next year. So, Rainey and Emma.
Yep. All right. With a little bit larger group, our competitive cheer group, just in numbers, relax. We're good. Obviously, as you can see, our team is an amazing team. Watching them all season dominate around our area and then heading off to the state finals and just doing a fantastic job. Super proud of them. I always say, wrestlers, plug your ears. Hardest working group of athletes in our school. They're just amazing. Physically, they put themselves to the test every day. Extremely proud of them. I got Coach Madeline Lulick. Come on up. She's going to describe her season.
That was almost as bad as the people at the state finals who called me Madeline Luna. Madeline Luna in her first year. I was like, yes. I am the luckiest coach ever, seriously, to have had this program. I keep saying fall in my lap, but in some ways I feel like it did. And how blessed am I? They are an incredible group of kids, young women, not kids. I have a lot to say, and I've been encouraged to say all of it, but the synopsis on the season, it was kind of a roller coaster for us. We, once again, had a pretty small team. So you run 16 kids, that's the goal, to have 16 kids out on the mat, and most teams have 25, sometimes 30 kids on their team. I had 18. So do the math, 16 with 2 extras is not enough. So we suffered an injury in the middle of the season with a kid that was in all 3 rounds, which was difficult for us to overcome, but we still did. We made it as far as we did. So there's a lot of remarkable things that happened this season. We were co-conference champs. The way cheerleading works, it's best, I think it should be best 2 out of 3, but there's 3 competitions and they're weighted at 25, 25, 50. So we won the first 2 competitions and lost the third the same week that we endured that injury. So we split the conference. Districts, we were runner-up at districts. We had down south for districts, so the competition down there, we're the farthest north team. And then our region, we got runner-ups at regionals by 0.2, which for those of you that are not cheer people, it's 1 pointed toe. That's what we lost by. And then we advanced to the state finals, and everybody at the state finals are really good, like especially the east side teams. They score significantly higher than us, and that's been something that just resources and stuff have given them for a number of years. So we kind of always go to state finals hoping to be the best of the West, so like beat all the people that we came from the west side with. That's always our goal every year. Of course, we'd like to do more, but try and keep it realistic too. And we were 0.08 points from 5th place, which would have put us at that best of the West. So the same people we share conference with also beat us at regionals and state. So we had a very successful season. And next year, I hope that it's just as great. So that's kind of the team synopsis. And then I have like a lot of individual awards that I've been encouraged to talk about. Do you want me to do it like by name? Let me just buzz
Do it
through?
now, and then we'll buzz
I
everybody
love it.
through.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. So bear with me. This is a lot. All conference this year. First team all conference. Kennedy Smith, Anna Jo Smith, Molly Holland, Ava Jonke, Mia Hilton, and Kaylee Clark. Also recognized at the conference level honorable mention, Sienna Schock and Peyton Gator. All district first team, Kennedy Smith, Ava Jonke, Olivia Bouchard, Anna Jo Smith. Second team, Molly Holland, Kaylee Clark, Peyton Gator. An honorable mention, Clara Kovich and Mia Hilton. All region athletes, Ava Jonke, Molly Holland, Anna Jo Smith, Kennedy Smith. Second team region, Clara Kovich, Kaylee Clark, Mia Hilton. And honorable mention, all region, Peyton Gator, Kieran Merrill. So that's like already half my team recognized at some level. All state academic individual. These individuals have to have a 3.8 GPA or higher. Mia Hilton, Medita Boppel, and Aurora Sisto. And then all state team, or excuse me, all state individual awards. So these are the kids that are recognized with a plaque on our wall. We have 2 from cheer that will be graduating this year, getting their plaque on the wall. So last year, Molly Holland won in 2023, and Kennedy Smith just won in 2024. And then second team All-State, Anna Jo Smith, and honorable mention All-State, Peyton Gator. And then this is my biggest plug. I'm the most proud of this because this has never happened in TK cheer history ever. My entire team qualified for academic all-team state awards. So that's cool. The whole entire team has a cumulative GPA of a 3.5 or higher, and that's amazing. And then to also plug, this is TK's 5th opportunity to cheer at the state finals ever in program history, and they posted their highest score ever at the state finals this year by over 9 points. So the last time that we competed, we scored a 760, and we scored a 769 at state finals this year. So that was amazing too. Wipe all your sweaty hands, because I know you all have them. Yes. Medita Boppel, Olivia Bouchard, Martine Christensen, Kaylee Clark, Nina Durkova, Peyton Gator, Mia Hilton, Molly Holland, Ava Jonke, Clara Kovich, Emily Landry, Kella LeClaire, Chloe Lamakowski, Lily McEwen, Kieran Merrill, Sienna Schock, Aurora Sisto, Anna Jo Smith, and Kennedy Smith.
So this year, I kind of thought this was going to be a rebuilding year, which we lost a whole bunch of seniors last year, and we came back with 3 students returning this year, and we still had a small chapter. We had 10 students, so 7 of them are all brand new, 4 of them were freshmen. And so we had 4 freshmen, 2 juniors, and 3 seniors on our team. And just a phenomenal team. We just came back from states, and so we had 10 kids go to regionals. 9 out of the 10 qualified for states, and then we just came back from states from this weekend, and we found out today we have a 6th that will qualify for nationals. We have 6 kids out of the 9 that competed at states qualifying for nationals. Out of that, we have 3 state champions, so outstanding performances by all these kids. They're such a good group, responsible, fun, everything you ask of them, it gets done. A lot more determined and a lot harder working than sometimes we've had in the past, and it paid off, and it pays off, all the time. They can see it's a good example for them. So hoping to compete for those 6, hoping to compete at nationals in May. It's in Chicago this year, so we have that to look forward to. So I have quite a long list too. They wanted me to go through the regionals and the state awards, so I'm just going to call off names. And as I call off, they can all come over there then too. So that way, then we'll be ready when we do the lineup. So the first one, I have Molly Alden. These are regional results. Molly was first in prepared speech and second in basic office systems at regionals. Tyne Bufka was first in management, marketing, and human resources, second in fundamental accounting, third in business law and ethics, fifth in digital marketing at concepts at regionals. Reagan Chapman was third in basic office systems, fourth in fundamental word processing, and sixth in administrative support concepts at regionals. Then at state, she was sixth in fundamental word processing and seventh in basic office systems and qualifies for nationals. Next was Caitlin Chase. She wasn't able to be with us tonight. She was second in prepared speech at regionals, and then she finished fourth in prepared speech at states. And she's the one we just found out. With judged events, only the top 3 qualify. With the other regular events, the top 6 qualify. So she missed it by 1 and was really, really disappointed and bummed. But we found out today somebody ahead of her dropped out, so she's the first alternate. So that's pretty cool too. Let's see, next, Kaden Hamming at regionals was first in digital media production, first in fundamental accounting, first in digital marketing concepts, and second in financial math and analysis. And then at state, he was first in fundamental accounting, first in digital media production, and fourth in digital marketing concepts. So nice way to round up his senior year. Oliver Clark, first time BPA kid, but he's a senior, third in fundamental accounting and third in payroll accounting at regionals. And let's see, next was Evan Liu, second in fundamental word processing at regionals, and then fourth in fundamental word processing at states, and then qualifies for nationals. Carmen Reynolds is first in business law and ethics, fourth in meeting and event planning, and fifth in fundamental word processing at regionals, and then took 6th place at state in business law and ethics, and qualifies for nationals. And Ryan Skidmore, another first year, he's a junior, first in basic office systems and procedures, first in fundamental word processing, and fourth in management, marketing, and human resources at regionals. And then at state, he took first place in basic office systems and procedures. So another first place, another state champion for first timers there. So these kids were awesome. I mean, it was so cool to see their progress and their success throughout the year. Just nothing but just admiration and thanks for the job well done with this group. I know you're going to show Caden's video at some point. I don't know when or how you were doing that, Erica.
Is there a lead-in that you have to,
The only thing I have, I'm going to give you the prompt for the video. This was in the digital media production contest. Every year they set a topic for us. And so this particular topic was to create a 1 to 2 minute promotional video about visiting local attractions instead of traveling out of state. Showcase the fact that you can have fun in your own regions without the expense of traveling out of state. Caden's done this contest for 4 years. The first year was COVID year, so there wasn't a lot of competition. But then he's progressed all the way through in different years. Sophomore year, he made finals but didn't get further than that. And then last year, just missed making the finals round at state. So he's been pushing for this and working really hard for this, and finally it paid off. So.
Well, why don't we have the kids get their certificate?
All right, perfect.
And then we'll watch it while they sit down. So.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Yes, yep. All right, so we've got Molly Alden. Freshman. Pine Bufka is a senior. Reagan Chapman is a freshman. And Caitlin's not here. Caden Hamming is a senior. Oliver Clark is a senior. Evan Liu is a junior. Carmen Reynolds is a freshman. And Ryan Skidmore is a junior.
Okay, we can go ahead and sit down and we'll watch the video. All right. And how about one more hand for all of the students here tonight? And what everybody was hoping to hear after recognition, if you would like, you can leave. Otherwise, you're welcome to stay for the board meeting.
That was fun. A little bit of everything.
Yep.
Question, is anyone staying?
Thank you. You bet.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, board, we all resettled? Okay. Is there,
Give everyone a chance to spread out.
yeah,
There you go.
there you go. You got your own section. All right, that takes us to public communication. Is there anybody interested in speaking for public communication? Public comment.
Public comment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just a Just a moment here. Okay. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Members of the public may address the Board of Education during public comment for up to 3 minutes. Speakers will be recognized by the presiding officer and asked to state their name, address, and group affiliation if applicable. As a reminder, all comments shall be directed to the board and not to staff or other participants. No participant may speak more than once. Participants may not behave in a manner that is disruptive to the orderly conduct of the meeting. The Board of Education does not respond to public comment. The superintendent will follow up with the speakers when appropriate. All right, are you ready? Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine Keith Griswold. I live at 1711 Starview Lane in Middleville, Michigan. I serve as the PTO executive president and treasurer at Glee, and I am an Odyssey and Lions coach. I'm really proud to see all of what our high school students are doing. I am the proud mom of a second grader over at Glee Elementary. And I wanted to express some concerns that I have today about our child care program and the outsourcing of the YMCA. Our community voted to approve a $42 million bond. And part of the bond was to open this beautiful facility that we're sitting in right now. And part of that was to give continued access to affordable childcare. Our voters approved this bond. In 2021, 2022, childcare cost $8 per session. And then on November 17th, Amanda Osama notified the TK community that childcare was going to be outsourced to YMCA. This is going to allow us to serve more students and eliminate busing, and we were informed the fees would be remaining the same. However, in the fall, when I contacted the YMCA directly, I was told fees would be honored for this year, and then the YMCA prices would be adopted. The YMCA fees are currently $18 per session, from $8 in 2021 to $18 in 2024. Per session, this is an astronomical 125% increase in 4 years. So for a part-time family currently attending childcare 3 days a week, this makes a $1,512 difference. My family typically requires about 51 sessions during the time my parents is covered. However, considering the YMCA has inflexible scheduling policies and there's a substantial increase in fees, the anticipated impact for my family is $3,789 difference. And to be really frank, I don't have that margin in my budget. When I've called to talk about this issue, I've been informed that like the director doesn't know what the pricing is going to be. There's questions as to what that's going to fall into. But I think a lot of our families are hurting currently. I'm part of the PTO. We don't have, for the most part, moms who are staying home anymore. A lot of our families are going back to work to make ends meet. And when I speak to community members, they're saying we were told the fees were going to remain the same. For some of our families, this means 2 pickup spots. Paid students still busing to leave. Grand Rapids Public Schools has a loop program, which is free. Other communities have the Boys and Girls Club, which charges a membership fee of $5 a year. Our voters approved for childcare for our community. I think it's really important that we have affordable access to childcare for all of our families. And frankly, I don't think the YMCA is an affordable option. It's an option that a lot of the high-income areas in our greater community uses, charter schools. But I'm just concerned about the trickle-down effect on our community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else interested in speaking at public comment? Anyone else interested in speaking? All right, thank you. That closes public comment. And that takes us to consent grouping. So any consent grouping item can be removed for separate consideration by board member request. All consent grouping items will be adopted in one motion with a roll call vote if we go the traditional route. So looking for a motion.
I can make a motion to approve the items of the consent grouping 3A through 3C.
Support.
Okay, so we have a motion by Husen and support by Dickman. All right, and that is a roll call vote, please. Brenda?
Brock,
Yes.
Dickman,
Yes.
Hess, yes. Powers,
Yes.
Huson,
Yes.
and Winger.
Yes.
Thank you, board. Motion carries. All right. And moving on to Mr. McCarthy or Mrs. Hammer.
Actually, Mrs. Hammer is going to be taking over.
Board items for information, special ed update.
So hi everyone, I'm Sarah Hammer, Director of Special Ed here at Thornapple Kellogg. And what we are going to, or I'm going to present on today is a program that we have. I'm really loud, I probably don't need that.
This is actually,
This is for the camera.
Oh. Okay, fine. All right, thanks. Shoot, I'm always told I'm so loud and everybody knows that I'm in a place. So, for me to have to use a microphone, here I go. So we have an awesome program here at Thornapple Kellogg Schools that we call peer-to-peer support or linkers. And when we look at our vision, or our mission, it speaks to that. It is encouraging and developing the greatest potential of each student here at Thornapple Kellogg. When we look at our strategic plan, it really aligns with that academic and programs. So the goal statement is that Thornapple Kellogg Schools will plan and implement opportunities to meet the individual needs of all of our learners. And Linkers does this. It's amazing. It's just, it aligns perfectly with what we are wanting here when we look at our academics and programs. We are really fortunate to have it at every one of our schools. So we have what we call kind of peer-to-peer support here at our ECC ECC building. So back in 2018-19, we were approved and we started to incorporate full inclusion program in our Great Start Readiness program. And within that model, we've serviced over 60 students using this model. And then in 2022-23, we kind of had an influx of students. And so we started using some of our tuition, and Angie Rowley actually is one of our tuition teachers who had the joy of teaching this little pumpkin right here last year, and so did Allison within our programs, within our tuition programs. And then this year, we started another program in our afternoon where we have a mixture of students who have IEPs and students who don't have IEPs, and it's a full inclusion program as well. And so as you can see with these pictures, we don't care. We don't care what your disability is. We don't care if you can't say your R's. We don't care if you don't know how to share. That's what we're here for. And so you can just see the opportunities that we have. And when you look at the pictures, you can't even tell who is who. And that's the beautiful thing about inclusion and what this program has to offer. And then when we go to McFall, we have what we call Fab Friends. And Fab Friends is something that's been around since 2007, so way before my time here. And then in 2009, Mrs. Lambitz and Mrs. Beaucamp, it used to be Miss Pilecki, started combining classes. And Bradley, you were actually, not yet, we're going to need to, but you were one of the Fab Friends, weren't you? And I learned today that Landon and Bradley were actually Fab Friends back in first grade. And so it's super empowering to see them here today together, still as friends. And then this school year, Mrs. Beaucamp's class kind of changed its dynamics a little bit more. And so she is participating with 5 different other general ed classes where her kids get the opportunity to go in and experience playtime, experience centers, experience circle time, and everything else great that an elementary school has to offer. And then at Lee, we can move on there, and we kind of have choose to include at Lee. So since we've started our autism programs back in the fall of 1920, we started one program, and then this year we started another one due to numbers. We've kind of used what we've called reversed mainstream, kind of as a first-tier support. So we have students that go in to our general ed classrooms with our ASD students, our kids with autism, in specials. And so they're in gym, they're in music, they're in library to kind of really show the kids how it's appropriate to play and what that looks like. And so they then also will go into the general ed class with the students as well and help them work. So during this time, our social worker and our classroom teachers will go and do empathy lessons, and we'll do some trainings for the kids to kind of what it looks like to be a good friend, what happens if somebody gets upset, what we really need from you. And so this is something that has been really empowering as well. And also last year, Lee became a unified sports team through Special Olympics. And so they've had the opportunity to partner with the old South Christian High School and utilize activities there. So I think they've done some bocce ball and have done some soccer and some other opportunities to include all of our kids. And again, here you can just see the kids in there playing in the PE class, just enjoying the fun. And again, this, they don't care. They were in the homecoming parade together, eating lunch together, and it's been really amazing. This is my 7th year here, and it's been so fun to see this little guy I met for the first time when he was 2.5 years old in his living room floor, and now he is almost fully included in general ed. And that's because of the power of our programs that we've had to offer and the power of what peers can do. And so it makes me want to cry every time I look. And I saw his mom the other day, and it's just like, I remember when I was in your house and he was climbing all over me, and now look at him. He's, fully doing what everyone else is doing. So just the pure joy of all of the kids is what is just the best part of it. And then at Page, we have the Peer Connectors. And this kind of started back in 2010, and I actually have Megan Roon, our social worker, that started this program and also started our programs at our middle and high school. And so she was a big influence to make sure to, have these opportunities for our kids. So it really wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of her pushing and knowing that this is important. So thank you, Ms. Roon, for that. And then Mrs. Shipley, she pairs up with 4th and 5th grade classrooms. And again, kind of the same concept where they work together, learn some empathy lessons, and then all of the kids get the opportunity just to be friends, which is so great to see. Today they were selling tattoos, and it was, I think the kids sold more tattoos than ever because they had a great salesman. So it's really fun. And then in the middle school, we have a couple different opportunities. So again, a class that started back in 2010 was what we call a service learning class, which Mrs. Lenish, our teacher of our students in our moderate cognitively impaired classroom, started. And this is a little bit of a unique class where the kids take it as an elective. And within that elective, they work on social skills, they work on community projects, and they really help sponsor our Classmates Care program. And so Mrs. Lenish's kids and then the students, the general ed students, package all of the, whenever we get orders in, they do all the packaging. Here they're making blankets for Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, but then they also have fun opportunities there where they get to play games and grow their skills. Then a couple years ago in 21-22, we started a middle school autism program. And so we have a linkers class that goes into their class as well, which is also an elective for our students and really works on life skills. And then they started a linker program this year for an after-school activity. So our students in the autism classroom have the ability to be able to stay after school with some peer connectors and get an opportunity to, just like all of our other kids. So here they are with doing the coat room, just playing. And I think this is a kind of a fun thing. Last week they came and cheered some of the girls on at their basketball game. And after they played, they all came down and sat together, and I was doing the clock, and I got so wrapped up in just the natural conversations that were taking place between all of the kids that I actually forgot to shut the clock off a couple of times and forgot to give a few points. And I said, go ahead and fire me. I'm a volunteer, but I'm just looking over here just in awe of just the genuine friendships that are formed. And so it's really special and fun. And here, this is the new program that they have. This is the Linkers After School program that they have. So they're having a fun time. And then at our high school, which is kind of why these guys are here, because they're all here for our high school program. So I'm really not even going to talk about my slides. I'm going to just have you guys come on up and kind of share your
experiences and kind of talk about what it's like to be a linker at the high school. So we have had 180 linkers come through, about 130 students with IEPs since linkers started at the high school in 2015. And we actually have one of our original linkers, Mr. Lark, who now is a teacher at our high school. And then we do have, so the next steps really to continue to grow this is we want to become a unified sports school at our high school too. So that is something that's on the agenda for Brian and I to look into how we can bring those opportunities to our students at our high school as well. It's become a real national thing. There's a lot of funds and things out there for the state of Michigan right now. I think we're going to look into starting with basketball and maybe move to bocce ball and, kind of see how that goes. So if you guys want to come on up and share a little bit why you enjoy the class and what you've learned from it and kind of go from there. And I think that's probably my favorite picture ever. And Matt, you can share the story behind that picture for sure.
All right. I'll start off here, but I won't take too much time because I think it's so important to hear from these guys. But my name's Matt Lark. I'm in my third year at TK now. I'm a 2017 graduate. And my senior year, I was a linker program with this guy right here, Devin. And I got super lucky last year, actually. We went to me and Miss Roon and Miss Hammer, we went to a transition program in Grand Rapids. And as soon as we walked in the door, there he was right there staring at me, just waving and came up and gave me a big hug. So it was awesome. But yeah. He ran up, was so happy. But when I was a senior in high school, I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to make a difference in the world. And one of my basketball coaches at the time came to me. He was in charge of the Linkers program at the time, and he said, I think you should try this out. Just give it a shot, see what you think. And it truly did change my life. And what an awesome opportunity I've had to come full circle and be back at the high school that I went to and watch this program evolve into something special. So I'm just going to hand this over to these guys now and let them say their piece.
Do you want to go or you want them to go? Oh.
Okay. So I'm Holly Velting. This is actually my first year doing linkers. So I've never I've always wanted to do this, but I've never had enough room in my schedule to do it. And this year I actually had enough time to do it in my schedule. So my favorite thing about it is just seeing the students connecting with the general ed students and doing the same things that we do, and just making their small little accomplishments every day, and it just makes me smile. One of the reason why I did it is because it's something I want to go into. I want to be a parapro, so it's really helped me get the experience. It's really helped me get the experience that to help me with that, and it's helped me with just building patience and just flexibility with the students, knowing that there's not just one way to help a student and there's more different ways to help them. So yeah, it's really fun, and yeah, I really enjoy it. So
all right, hello, I'm Landon Conroy. This is my second year doing the Linkers program. And the way I got into it was in first grade, just what was mentioned earlier. I kind of just had the opportunity, and I didn't think much of it. I just kind of joined, and I really enjoyed it. And when I was nominated in my sophomore year to do it for my junior year, I just had to jump at that opportunity. And probably my favorite part of the program is just the things that it teaches you. It teaches you patience. It teaches you to have empathy is probably the biggest part. All these students are going through things that, you wouldn't even think about just by, you just have to deal with them to learn about it. And so I just have gained a deeper level of empathy for sure. And also just the importance of just saying what's up, give them a high five, fist bump is just, it can just really make their day, and it's just super, super fulfilling to see it. And yeah, it's just, I'm very, very happy that I chose to participate in this program. And I think I'll be a better person, better parent. I think it's taught me a lot of things. So I've just been happy to be a part of it. So.
Awesome.
You're up. Remember, tell them what do you do with your linkers?
They help me out with a lot of things.
They help you out with what?
With
Why don't you come talk right here? Okay, talk into this one. Okay, tell them what do they help?
they help me out with games like we used to do like basketball. What else?
Yeah. What else do you do with them?
They do like games like tennis.
Yeah, tennis. Yeah. What do you like about having a linker?
They're fun.
They're fun. And what have you learned from having a linker?
They're kind.
They're kind.
They're that was it.
And what did you tell me the other day? What have you learned from being a linker? That what? Yeah, treat others with respect and treat others the way what? You want to be treated. So Bradley told me the other day he loves having a linker because it's taught him to treat others the way he wants to be treated. So, right? So, and tell him, what are you going to do next year? Where are you going? To a new school. We're going to go visit on Wednesday, aren't we? Yeah. So it will be fun. So you'll get to be at school with Devin again. Yeah. All right. So that will be fun. So again, this is the amazing group. All right. And I say it every year, but I truly have the best job here at Thornapple Kellogg Schools. So thank you guys for the support. Thank you so much for coming today. And that's what I have. So do you have any questions?
No, I just want to thank you. That was wonderful, and I appreciate every Holly, Landon, and Bradley coming out and speaking. I know it's difficult to speak at a public meeting, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
My cup is so full right now. Like, it is overflowing full.
Yes. That was our goal.
All right, well, thank you all. Appreciate it. And the next group is going to escape.
Yep. A lot of positive emotions.
Oh,
yes, it's a fun night.
Yes, and
Okay, so let's see. That takes us to. Oh, thank you again, Ms. Hammer. Committee and liaison reporting.
Right. We only had one committee meet, and it was the construction committee. We met last week to discuss our current projects and those coming up this summer. As part of the meeting, we took a quick tour of the pool. The last time they had been in the pool, the roof had just been replaced, and the roof drains were not in yet, and it was storming out, so we had water coming through from the drains. But since then, there's been a lot of progress, and things are coming along well. The pool is on track to be completed by spring break. The new epoxy deck is being put down this week. Then we're going to have the pool itself, the tiles, acid wash to bring back the life of them. And then we'll be set to start probably next week, filling the pool back up. So we're getting there. The storage building out near the maintenance building, the doors were the last things that we were waiting for, and they were installed late last week. So all we have to do now is put the fence back up and connect it to the corners of that building, and so that whole area will be secure again. And then our staff is also working on an organized system of shelving so that we can efficiently store things and then access it in the building. So summer planning or summer projects, the planning and scheduling of our paving and parking lot projects has been completed. The plans have been shared out with building principals so they know when and where they can go in and out of the buildings during that process, and when their staff will have access if they need to get in the building. And then a little bit later on, Chris is going to discuss district-wide signage. So, yeah.
All good things. Plus, it's fun to wrap up that bond project.
Yeah, it is. It's been a lot of work over the
Multi-year.
last several years, but yeah.
Okay, is there any questions from the board? Anything you'd like clarified or discussed? All right, thank you. So moving on to board items for action. All right, we got self-provisioned fiber.
All right, so I have a quick, I have a quick slide on each one of these. These were written up and prepared by John Dombrowski. I'm sure you saw it in the board packet. So the first one is self-provisioned fiber. And my understanding of this comes from John's write-up, just like yours. So this one sounds great. It replaces the current fiber that was installed in the 90s. Sounds like it's very much needed. You can see the locations here. We had one bid by Turnkey Solutions, Turnkey Network Solutions. We've worked with in the past. They did all the fiber out here of $76,000. The good news is on that, 90% of it should be reimbursed by E-rate and the Universal Service Fund. So pretty easy one there.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions that Mr. LaHaye or Mr. LaHaye probably won't be able to answer?
I can try. I'll have to look at the write-up.
Okay. All right. Okay, looking for a motion to make the purchase for self-provisioned fiber. I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion the Board of Education award the bid for self-provisioned fiber to Turnkey Network Solutions for $88,902.76.
I'll support.
Okay, I got a motion by Powers, support by Hess. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing there's no discussion, we'll take a roll call vote.
Brock?
Yes.
Dickman?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Powers?
Yes.
Huson?
Yes.
Wenger?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Board. Motion carries. All right, now, self-provisioned fiber maintenance.
The maintenance. So this provides a checkup on the remaining fiber that's not being replaced, and it puts us on, as John called it, a retainer for quick repairs if we need them, so we're not out of internet for a long period of time. And we can receive E-rate funding or the E-rate reimbursement on any repairs that we need. You can see that we had two bids here. The turnkey was a little bit more expensive, but John, once again, is saying, especially when considering the E-rate refund on this or reimbursement, it's worth it to go with Turnkey Network Solutions, again, because of their familiarity and the work in the district. So, you know, difference there of $10,000 on their bid, but, and you'll see this in some of his others, or the other technology ones here, some of that is due to familiarity. We believe that they kind of know their way around a little bit better, and so that's why the bid is a little bit more, because it's more inclusive of more of the projects we have to do. And if you take that 90% that we're going to get reimbursed, we're really talking about a very small amount of money. So,
Okay, Board, any questions or clarifications? All right, looking for a motion to go forward with Turnkey Solutions for fiber maintenance.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education award the bid for self-provisioned fiber maintenance to Turnkey Network Solutions for $51,345.59.
I'll support.
Thank you. Got a motion by Winger, support by Huson, yeah.
Hear the pause.
We should have said 58 cents, and then Mr. Dombrowski would have to chip in.
They're already questioning my availability, so.
All right, is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing there's no discussion, it'll be a roll call vote, please.
Wenger?
Yes.
Huson?
Yes.
Powers?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Dickman?
Yes.
And Brock?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Board. All right, now going into a different realm of the purchase of food service equipment.
oh yeah, all right. So last year at this exact same time, we purchased two of these same ovens for the middle school. They've been a great success there. That's kind of our primary kitchen at the middle school, but we also prepare food at the high school in McFall. So we did an RFP and went out back in February to purchase two more of these combination ovens. So it's really 4 ovens, but it's 2 double ovens. They really do a nice job. In fact, we did some interviews for food service last week, Jess Endress, our food service director, and I, and one of the candidates said, oh, you have combination ovens? And I thought, wow, combination ovens, it must really be something. So, so I have the same list of all the things they do here. They seem great. All the food service staff love them. So again, this is part of our food service excess fund balance spend down. We're just bringing that revenue in and in and in with these universal free meals. So why not get some more ovens and make even better food yet? So the bid tabulation here is on the next slide. We actually had 6 companies come and bid this. Our low bidder was out of West Virginia, and you know, it wasn't that much far enough. We want to work with somebody right here locally, with all due respect to Douglas Equipment. But Elliott Food Equipment out of Lansing, Michigan, I've spoken to them in the past. We haven't worked with them, to my knowledge, in the past. But they came into low bid and you know, met all of the same requirements that we put in as far as installation set in place, you know, check and the warranty, and the exact quoted oven. So that's my proposal here. That's my motion, is to work with Elliott Food Equipment on this combination oven purchase.
Thank you. You clarified my questions.
I know, it's like I knew it was coming. I'm
I know,
sorry.
yeah. Okay, does anybody have any questions? All right, looking for a motion to purchase the oven from Elliott Food Equipment. Okay, I'll grab it. I'll make a motion that the Board of Education award the bid to Elliott Food Equipment for the purchase of 2 combination ovens for an amount not to exceed $91,500 as presented.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Powers and support by Brock. All right, is there any, are there any clarifications, any questions, discussion? All right, thank you. That's a roll call vote, please.
Huson?
Yes.
Wenger?
Yes.
Powers?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Dickman?
Yes.
Brock?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Board. Okay, now we are back to the electronics world with structured cabling.
Yeah, back to technology. Okay, so this is for structured cabling. This is actually the cabling in our elementaries. My understanding is a lot of this has been replaced. This would be just in McFall and Lee, would take place over the summer. And if you go into the classrooms, you'll see that there are a few tripping hazards where things have been taped down, running along whiteboards, et cetera. So it's time. This would bring our cabling up to date with the rest of the district. You can see there was 2 bids here. This, again, will be submitted for E-rate. It's not the same as the previous fiber bids where we know we're going to get 90% back. This is based on free and reduced lunch and how many other districts ask for E-rate, usually between 60 and 70%. So, you know, there were 2 bids, this Division 27 and Moss Telecommunications. You can see there was a difference of about $9,000 in their bid price. We are recommending to go with Moss and approve them, even though they're not the low bidder. There's 3 primary reasons for that. Number 1, they attended the walkthrough. John did a voluntary walkthrough on this. Division 27 didn't make it out. Moss did. There was a lot more detail in their proposal, showing that they understood the scope of the work. And of course, they have a long history of working here in the district. So for us, $9,000, especially when we're going to receive 60 to 70% of it back, just makes sense. You will see that John did put a 10% contingency on this as well, just because this is one of those projects that there will be unforeseen or can be unforeseen issues. So that is included above the bid cost, just in case that comes through. I should mention too, this will be funded completely out of our capital projects fund. We had planned this when John and I sit down at the beginning of the year and go through what we're going to spend those capital project fund dollars on. This was one of those things, so it was budgeted.
Any questions or comments? I know we've used Moss for a lot, and I prefer to stay with them because they're going to support their own work and know previous things. So I think that's a strong move. Okay. Seeing there's no discussion, looking for a vote, or sorry, a motion to get structured cabling by Moss.
I'll make the motion that we move forward with the structured cabling with Moss for $52,775.28.
Support.
Okay, we got a motion by Dickman and support by Winger. Is there any further discussion? All right, that's a roll call vote, please.
Brock?
Yes.
Dickman?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Powers?
Yes.
Huson?
Yes.
And Winger.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Board. All right, network electronics.
All right, last one for technology. So this is district-wide, but really at the middle school, Lee and McFall. So this, as I understand it, are the wireless access points throughout the district. We did the high school in Page last summer. This would take care of the remaining 122 that are aged out. I think they're 5 years old or 7 years old or something of that nature. Maybe they're from 2015.
2015.
That was it. Thank you. And it replaces that network switches that are end of life throughout the district. So this is some of that continuous, you know, everybody's on a device or 2 or 3 nowadays. We're using them for education, and so this just really keeps us moving so we're not getting out of date. So large bid, once again, This is in the capital projects budget. We had only Moss come and bid this, $139,000, 92.70 cents. Once again, E-rate reimbursement to make it nice and affordable. Love that. You know, they do. That's the U.S. government helping schools out. So, really not much more to say there, but that's the last one.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, clarification, discussion? All right, looking for a motion to purchase some network electronics.
I'll move that the Board of Education award the network electronics bid to Moss Telecommunications in the amount of $139,092.70.
I'll support.
Motion by Hess, support by Huzen. Is there any discussion? Seeing as no discussion, we'll take a roll call vote, please.
Powers?
Yes.
Huson?
Yes.
Winger?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Dickman?
Yes.
Brock?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Board. All right, that takes us to purchase of district monument signs.
All right, district signs. So this is our current state. I've been talking about this for a few months, writing about this for a few months. Did the RFP in January, revised it. So you don't need to see these. You guys see them nearly every day. They're not in bad shape, but they're not in great shape. And they're kind of, depending on where you're at, they're crumbling a little bit. So this was something that I kind of dreamt up and wanted to get going. And so we had, I put an RFP out, as I said. The proposed improvements would put a message board, an electronic sign with LED message center on each one of the signs, except for the Bender Road High School sign. So every building would be able to program the message, and it would rotate, from the office or really from home if they wanted to. Double-sided internally illumination with LED lighting in the cabinet, acrylic push-through lettering and logos, and then rotted aluminum faces that'll stand up and last 20, 30 years without fading or really looking dingy. So really brings together, I think it's a marketing for the district personally. It unifies all of our buildings and it brings them uniform. These are nice signs. So we had 6 bidders come in, and the way I did this, and I wrote about it, so I won't bore you too much. My base bid was just to basically use as much of our existing signs as possible and replace the letterboard with the message center. But a lot of the signs, I was discussing this last week, they're actually vinyl. The only one that's an actual metallic or metal case all the way through is the one here at the ECC. If you go up to Page, McFall, or Lee, you can poke it. It's vinyl. I shouldn't say that over the air, but that's the truth. I didn't realize that until I got right up to it. And then, so there's kind of a wide range. So that was the base bid. And then for the alternate bid, I said, go ahead and design something and full replacement with the message center in it. And you can see the different numbers on here. I've worked with Midwest Signs in the past. We've actually worked with Midwest here in the past. They redid a lot of the just stick signs last summer. So they do great work. They're right over in Wayland. They came in the most affordable here with Watchfire message centers, which are the industry standard. As far as I had another bidder reach out, and they always want to know where the bids come in. And he said, well, that's really a great price. I hope you're not cheaping out and not getting Watchfire. And I said, don't worry, we're getting Watchfire. So that made me reassured that we're actually doing something here that's great. I did also put a 10% contingency in here beyond their $197,545. I'm getting ahead of myself. So my proposal is to work with Midwest on their alternative bid. I've got their most updated design here that I'll show you guys. But added 10%, because there can be things where we don't see, maybe there's an electrical hookup or something of that nature that needs to get done, so it drives it a little bit ahead. So this is what they'd look like before we go to that. So these would be the elementary signs. You can see it's 129 inches wide, which is, do the math on that, that's almost 11 feet wide. It's a very big, it's a large sign. I can't read exactly, but you can see they've got a couple regular-sized people standing there. I think they're about 8 foot or just shy of 8 foot side. So they are a significant size sign. You can see the Watchfire display on it. The address is shown, illuminated. Anything that's in white is illuminated at night, including the logo. So they'll stand out. They'll be nice with the address, which is good for emergencies because I don't know that we're all perfectly uniform there as well. So McFauley and Page and the ECC will look like that. The middle school, obviously very similar, although it says middle school, so that one's not really any different. The high school Bender sign, I didn't want a message center on that. It seemed like overkill to me. So this is a little bit wider sign and not quite as tall, and that would just replace the one over here. That it would eliminate the back and forth between Page and the high school, but you know, maybe Page can still put things on there. And then finally, I wanted to maintain the high school sign. I think it's great that the bricks match the bricks of the building. I think that's something that we would never want to go away from, and they still look good. But the concrete block needed to get covered up or replaced because it's kind of rusting and things like that. So it maintains all of that. John Dombrowski also told me that that sign that's out there, the old Daktronics sign, has to be replaced. It's something that's been on his list. We never talked about it, and there's multiple reasons for that. You can see there's a line going through it already, so I think it's getting close to the end of life too. But brings the uniformity around, and that's the sign proposal. So going back, and it's in the board packet, we would approve Midwest Signs to complete this work, and they say as soon as they get the blessing, they can do it 8 to 10 weeks, as soon as they get permits from the village. So we'd be
You
looking
solved
at
the
June.
problem. TK, Thornapple Kellogg.
Oh, yeah, well, I wasn't gonna go into that, but we got that TK, we went back and forth between the logo, and we discussed that at the construction meeting last week, but do we want the Trojan head or do we want the TK logo? And anyways, we got it incorporated up into the strip there, so, yeah. I think it's good.
All right.
But any other questions, I'll certainly.
Yeah, any,
Just to clarify,
Anyone.
you're saying normal-sized people are 8 foot, or they're
No.
normal?
If you look, the sign is 8 foot, and so those normal-sized people are shorter than the sign. They do look tall. I mean, those are 6-foot people. Yeah. Gotta be. I don't know. They're tall folks. You know?
all right. Looking for a motion to purchase some new signage for the long term. Oh, sorry, I do have a question. Did they give you a guesstimate? I know you said the aluminum would last a significant while. The technology, is that a 5 to 10 year? Did they give you?
The technology is, I have to remember, I believe that they guarantee that technology for 10 to 15 years.
They do, okay.
And they can come back and they can replace just certain pixels if they go out, not the whole message center.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's nice. You don't have to scrap the whole thing.
That's really nice. I was expecting 5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Looking for a motion to purchase some signage, please.
I can make a motion that the Board of Education approve Midwest Signs for the fabrication, delivery, and installation of district monument signs as presented for an amount not to exceed $217,299.
I'll second.
Thank you. Got a motion by Husen and support by Brock. And that is a roll call vote, please.
Dickman?
Yes.
Brock?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Powers?
Yes.
Wenger?
Yes.
Huson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, board. All right. And that takes us down to superintendent's report.
Yeah, not a very long one tonight, but last week, Thursday, Chrissy Husen and Jeff Dickman and I went to the KIASB meeting up at the Ken ISD regarding Career Prep 2030. The intent behind Career Prep 2030 is to increase access to career and technical education for students throughout the county. The ISD aims to more than double enrollment between now and 2030, which is quite a goal. But they hope to achieve this through partnerships with local districts and pushing some of the first-year curricular content back to the school districts, and then having just the advanced content at the Career Tech Center. So we're going to have to work with them to find some creative ways to get the CTE coursework here. But that's a positive, because then it's going to give more of our students access to that hands-on career tech ed. Related to that, this week, Wednesday, I'm going to be bringing Tony Peterson and Kelly Wegner to visit junior achievement offices to see their facility and observe how they do their hands-on lessons with the students that attend there. So that'll be interesting for them to see, because I've been through it before. And then spring sport tryouts were actually today, and there are a few competitions between now and spring break. And then everybody's looking forward to spring breaks, just a little over 2 weeks away. So that's it.
Thank you.
Can I make a comment? So I have a student. I have a student at the high school. I've had 2 students at the high school. And as a parent, I did not fully understand what KCTC offers to our students. What an incredible opportunity that our students have to go and learn and gain college credits and high school credits and meet others from other schools. I wish I had known more. I hope, we've talked about this, I hope we can educate our parents and teachers and students a little bit better on what that's offering for them. It was an incredible opportunity to see that site.
I'd agree with that as well. An eye-opening experience for me, and there's a lot of amazing, bright young students out there, and they all spoke well and exuded confidence and were passionate about what they were learning, and that was great. So anything we can do to further promote that, I think is worthwhile.
Right.
Okay. So we'll kind of blend lines in the board comments. I will, one of those activities that Mr. McCarthy was alluding to is Odyssey of the Mind. They have a wonderful program here at TK.
Right.
And state championships are this weekend coming up. So if you want to watch some wonderful performances, TK has a wonderful program, historical program, like absolutely amazing what they do. So it'll be fun, a lot of fun. It's a long day for everybody, but it's one of those rewarding days. So they'll be in here probably next month.
Yes, right, they will.
Yep, they do a great job every year. Any other comments from the board, to the board? All right, thank you, everybody, and we will adjourn the meeting at 8:11. Have a good night.